Hello and welcome to another episode of RBL Podcast. I am your host, Ayo Ugina. Today we will be talking about real estate as an investment class. But before I start, I'd like to explain why real estate is very important as an investment class. No matter what kind of investment you have, talking about the financial instruments, the money markets, uh, the likes of your bitcoins, mutual funds, treasury bills, bonds, and what have you. There are so many of them. There are so many, even stocks, and other investment options like that. They are all a form of gathering wealth, but they are fictitious. They are not real. They are not tangible. You cannot touch them. One, and then apart from that, real estate is one thing that is easily trans generational. From one generation to the other, it is there. It is solid. You can feel it as long as you have your documents. And then it gives you so much leverage in terms of raising funds, in terms of getting loans, in terms of building, projecting. It just gives you so much more leverage and a lot more, so many other financial instruments that you have out there. So, there's no perfect way to invest. There's no, one cap fits all approach. But I would just like to say how I go about it. You understand? All these investment options are very important, but they all have different purposes. So to raise money, to put money together majorly, it's easier when you have, yes, investment, financial instruments like the mutual funds. They are low risk, by the way, financial instruments, the ones that are reliable, the ones that can be trusted the most, you understand, the least risks. They give you, the rewards are maybe not so high, you understand. You can have the likes of 20 something percent per annum and all that, but then if you break them down into months, they become smaller, and then but they're more stable and they're reliable, you know. So for instance, for me, I have stocks, I invest in stocks, but that forms because of the way the Nigerian stock market is. It's just, we are getting more confidence in it gradually again since the last crash. So that forms the list of my investment portfolio, but I still invest in stock, and I'm trying to even improve on that now and invest more monthly, you understand. But then I also have mutual funds. Mutual funds help me to like pull money together while targeting a real estate investment. So let's say for a year, I'm trying to pull together maybe 10 million. You understand? And then you put a cap there that you would withdraw when it gets to a certain amount. When you get that amount, you can invest it in bigger things. When you get pulled all that together, you can either invest in treasury bills or maybe invest in real estate, like I intend to. You understand? But then it helps you to put the money together rather than just putting them in a savings account, which will not pay you. Savings account give you, very little reward. But then the interesting thing about uh, mutual funds is that it's compounding interest. You understand? So let's say they give you 10% or a certain percent per month on your funds. Um, the next month, it is your money plus your principal plus that interest is what is going to get compounded. So the longer it takes, the more leverage you're going to have with it. So if you're putting it for a year, for instance, you get more interest, you get more leverage through compound interest. If you're putting for 5 years, even better. If you're putting for 10 years, even better. So it goes with time. However, real estate is very, very dynamic because with inflation, the higher the inflation in any economy, it's almost like real estate works the opposite direction. So if inflation is crashing the value of the currency in your country, like what is happening in Nigeria, for instance, the value of properties increases almost at the same proportion or higher than what you have in inflation. So as the value of the naira goes down, value of properties increase. So that's what happens. So it just makes more sense. So for instance, where you have in a year, for instance, you have interest rates on your money markets, on your financial instruments of 21 or 20% or something, you can have up to 300% on real estate. Now, the difference is that real estate, because of the system, you may not be able to really cash out very fast. You may not be able to sell quickly and withdraw your money, but you can leverage, you can still use that property to borrow money. You can use that money, that property as a collateral to get money from the bank because it has value. You understand? So you pay the bank back, you get your property back. However, a financial instrument you can easily sell and get your money. So that's majorly it. But real estate will give you so much more leverage. As a matter of fact, I have a client who, what he does is that because he has so much debt, he has so much exposure with his firms, he keeps looking for market for properties in emerging locations. So let's say he finds out that okay, this location is getting attention. People are beginning to migrate into this location, and the value of those properties are not too expensive. So he starts positioning. He starts buying lands in those areas in large numbers, in large plots. You understand? Perfects the title and then he waits. What then happens later on is that when he needs money from the bank, he's able to use these properties because they've appreciated so much in value. He's able to use them as leverage, you understand, to get money from the bank to further expand in his business. So that's a good strategy. So, I mean, if you want to follow real estate as a good leverage for wealth and to promote your business, send me a message. Make comments in the comment section below and I'll be glad to respond to you. If you have any question, I'll be glad to respond to you. Remember to subscribe. Remember to follow our social media platforms. Until next time, stay blessed.